Mes chers amis, mis queridos amigos, Academy, that's Irish, meine sehr gute Freunde, etc., etc., my dear friends. I remember thinking before this MBA began that this year would doubtless involve such changes in me that I could not possibly foresee how or where I would be at year's end. Long before last January, I began to feel a buzz about what the year was all about. I logged on to Net Vestibule, the internet message board for prospective INSEAD students, and in that moment, months before my first class, I became part of this community of friends that will last a lifetime. Within days, I discovered several people whom I've now come to consider lifelong friends, all of us sharing interests, the desire to get to know each other, the desire to participate in this life-changing adventure. Life became a flurry of postings to the message board, checking when and where the next MBA get-together would be. I couldn't believe that here was a community of hundreds of people with whom I immediately felt such empathy. We all looked forward to meeting each other and helping each other find our feet. And thus we stepped on the dizzying carousel of the INSEAD MBA. I went back to school, but this time with money in my pocket and no acne. Through this internet community, I held parties for future classmates in my Madrid flat. I took the cheap flights to London and Paris, where not only did I play the same game we all played, trying to recognize each other in Montmartre cafes or in London nightclubs, from those little passport-sized photos we found on Net Vestibule, which sometimes resembled reality. I also became involved in something which became a year-long passion of mine, and formed one of the most enduring memories of the year and my lifetime. We had the first practice sessions on a cold November night in a dingy London studio of what would become the greatest rock and roll band ever to come out of Fontainebleau. Slowly, the spirit of INSEAD was revealed to us. This school is a meeting of like spirits. Spirits of fun, bravery, freedom, adventure, creativity, intellectual curiosity, indeed mischief in no small measure. Though we missed our families, and I would like to wish my father happy birthday today, he's here. Our common outlook on life meant we became our own extended family. And I already have 6 brothers and sisters, but I got room for 400 more. Indeed, coming to Fontainebleau, I thought it would be a return to my roots, as I am a farm boy. My own village is the size of Vilserf, but back in County Cork, I didn't share my day with people from 50 different countries. And then came the radical shift to Asia. So ended those 6 months negotiating the dark wooded roads of Fontainebleau, following any one of the 7 different official PowerPoint maps to Tavers, each twice as difficult to follow in pitch darkness while avoiding deer and wild boars, to where hundreds of students gathered in fancy dress for yet another legendary party. But what Singapore lacked in castles, forests, dinners and free coffee, it made up for in modernity, Asian cuisine, freedom to travel and explore the Orient, and the ability to take a dip in the pool 24 hours a day, 365 days in the year. Singapore's entrepreneurial campus showed me it is catching up fast and in many ways setting the pace for its elder sibling campus in Fontainebleau. Perhaps the strongest indications of maturity in building a personal character has been seeing how it's building its own traditions, including this year alone its wildly successful first ever cabaret and the now legendary Dash, but also the ever-strengthening relationships with local entrepreneurs, financiers and high-tech inventors. Singapore's campus and faculty are tightly wired to the city and Asian business, making a campus switch not only desirable but I believe essential to the INSEAD experience. But whatever inkling that I might have had of the above, there's nothing to prepare me for all that makes INSEAD special beyond the academic curriculum. Nothing in the INSEAD website or welcome packs to hint at the lavish Indian summer wedding in Bombay, the visits to the Himalayas in New Delhi, finally seeing the temples of Angkor Wat, nor indeed dressing in cravat and beret, representing INSEAD's rugby team as a French gentleman abroad, savouring the cultural delights of various European capitals, singing La Marseillaise in throaty gusto at least 20 times per tour, with classmates from Nigeria, Italy, America, Brazil, countless nations it seemed, including of course France. And all for one, and one for all. This extraordinary diversity and unity of cultures and nations, has been the keystone of my INSEAD experience. What has set the course apart from all other B schools. It is a place people come to learn about the world and its people, and not merely tack on additional eye-banking experience, though you are likely to do so, or get your heads around organizational behavior or process management. It has not only been the possibility to educate myself in the forest of Fontainebleau while opening my mind to the potential of life in Asia, not just to learn about entrepreneurship and looking forward to creating wealth of my own. It was that, amid such extraordinary diversity, no restrictions of political correctness stifled the individual expressions of the nations who came together in the forest of Fonty and the tropics of Singapore. National weeks, hosted by diverse cultures, gladly hyped their stereotypes to disarm us and then charm us with what lay behind these common perceptions. Hence, behind the Portuguese, unwilling to move out from their mothers, the Australians dividing their time between the beach and the sheep farm, the Latinos constantly dancing and singing, do they? The Indians dressing in fantastic colours while performing hopping dances, the Italians driving sleek sports cars and studying their reflections, we discovered more existed to unite us in our diversity than divide us by our differences. More parts of other people's cultures existed to charm and attract us than exclude or mystify us. And so, the Indians wore Italian soccer shirts, the Germans put on kurtas and saris doing the hopping dance, the Irish donned a British school shirt and tie, and the Chinese painted stars and stripes in their faces. We will emerge from this year with barriers to cultural awareness broken down, enabling us to repeat this attitude no matter where we go, with whomever we interact, and in our own way by being leaders wherever we are, in whatever we do. It is not utopian, I believe, to state that we will bring the world closer together and help people realize that beneath the turbans, the Stetsons and the skull caps, think the same minds, beat the same hearts, and live the same lives. I truly believe we have experienced something few others of any age or society can experience, and that is a year of immersion in pure humanity. Our learnings that sustain and differentiate us will be less about corporate financial structure and more about our openness and generosity, less about number crunching and more about personal maturity. I will miss this environment, where I know when I walk into a room everyone is from a different country, grew up speaking a different language and has a different story to tell. I can't look forward anymore to the next Fontainebleau practice session unless it's for the 5-year reunion, and I hope you all come. I can't assume that I will go to the cafeteria and play table football with a Brit and a Brazilian, have lunch with a Chinese and a Korean, go for coffee with a South African and Spaniard, and then get cracking on the corp finance paper with 2 Japanese and a Yank. Now, as the year ends, I see city bankers exploring exciting new opportunities in management buy-ins of furniture factories in Spain, actresses and journalists trying to catch the eye of the banks and the consultancies, one-time IT consultants angling for a shot at the media. I see now that for me the INSEAD MBA was a swirl of humanity centered on a point of transformation. Career transformation synonymous with personal transformation. Perhaps I would like to end this with a few words of our host country, because international that we are, I would like to pay tribute to the French for having hosted us for so long. And I would like to say to all of my classmates, je vous souhaite tout l'amour et toute la chance que vous méritez. Vous serez mes amis du corps jusqu'à la fin de ma vie. Et vous êtes vraiment phénoménal. Merci.
Micheál Collins.